So now, we got to move on to what I would say overwhelmingly most people are interested in, or at least expressed to me, which is perhaps the most controversial and explosive aspect of the plot against you, which is, of course, the alleged role of at least some elements of the US government and the Biden administration. And just for a little bit of context, why it's important to Americans is that domestically, we've constantly vilified other nations, in particular Russia, actually, for allegedly meddling in our elections, even though there hasn't been a tremendous amount of evidence. But it's a football thrown around, a weapon thrown around in our domestic discourse of accusing other countries of meddling in our elections. And so the prospect that there was a diplomatic cipher from an American State Department official, effectively, correct me if I'm wrong about this cipher, but from what I've heard from other interviews, it was basically saying to your ambassador, saying, look, if you guys don't do a no confidence vote and effectively take Prime Minister Khan out of power, there will be consequences for Pakistan, which, if true, is a pretty egregious case of meddling on the part of Biden administration officials. So I was wondering if you could address that as to its accuracy, or maybe provide more details or context so we can understand what the deal is with this so-called cipher.
Look, Darren, let me first say something that, look, US is Pakistan's biggest trading partner. Pakistan exports more to the US than any other country. And secondly, one of the most powerful expatriate Pakistan communities are the Pakistani American community. They are one of the most powerful, influential communities of Pakistanis living abroad. So Pakistan should always have good relationship with the United States. And let me say, I had excellent relationship with the Trump administration. Why, for some reason, I did not have much contact with the Biden administration, when Joe Biden came to power. And so what is the lead up to what is the whole cipher controversy? My feeling is that the US was made to realize, once the army chief had decided that I had to go, and when he hired this lobbyist under my government, and me not knowing that he had hired this lobbyist. So I think they made the Biden administration feel that Imran Khan was anti-American. Now, I think that is the reason why the cipher originated from Washington. This conversation, an official conversation between the Undersecretary of State and Pakistani Ambassador Asad Majid. And so when I received the cipher, I have to say I was, shocked. Right. I mean, you do not get, a prime minister does not get a communique from his ambassador saying that the official from this other country is telling the ambassador that unless they get rid of the prime minister, there would be consequences of Pakistan. So, I mean, who would not be shocked? Right. I mean, but then when I wondered that how could he be, the ambassador couldn't get rid of me. So, the Foreign Office can't get rid of the Prime Minister. So who was this meant for? And it was clear it was meant for General Bajwa. The cipher was meant for him. That, it was, I should be gotten rid of in a vote of no confidence. And the next day, the vote of no confidence was tabled in the National Assembly.
And, right. Literally the next day, right?
Exactly the next day. And within weeks, the government was gone.
That's amazing. So just for people listening, just to make sure that the point drives home, there was a cipher, a letter from U.S. diplomatic officials saying, have a vote of no confidence to get rid of Prime Minister Khan, basically overthrow the government, or there will be consequences. And literally the next day is when this vote was proposed.
Cipher means, just for the audience, Cipher is a secret codified message given by the ambassador to the Foreign Office. So it is a conversation, official conversation, which is recorded, and then that conversation is sent through this coded message, which is called a cipher. It is to the Foreign Office, and of course, it reaches the Prime Minister. So the WikiLeaks, what was WikiLeaks? It was these communication became exposed, and that's what the leak was about, the conversation between the U.S. ambassadors and what they were sending to the State Department. So that's what called a cipher. So
absolutely.
So yes, exactly. I mean, this conversation was reported to me through the cipher, and yes, that's what it said.
So, Mr. Prime Minister, I know we're kind of pressed for time, so I want to make sure I get the most important questions and material out there. And just to say it, just as an American, I'll say it's seems to me like glaring hypocrisy on the part of the Biden administration that's constantly complaining about alleged meddling from other countries to take the step of issuing a cipher that's basically giving an ultimatum: get rid of this democratically elected leader or there will be consequences.